Hey everybody, it's Sad the Red and welcome back to Sunrider Liberation Day. Right, the last we left off. Jinxed! Yeah. Suddenly, sparks blew throughout the room as a space-time, but that isn't what I expected. Suddenly, sparks blew throughout the room as a space-time portal ripped open, sending an explosion of wind throughout the room. Stacks of cargo crates found everywhere, and on top of the mess was... As a side note, kind of maybe probably a good thing we didn't put Lynn inside one of the cargo crates. She would have been... Actually, that would have been kind of funny. Hey, you fools! And there we go. Time for the mindfucker to continue. Hey. Okay. That sure was a messy entry. Pedo T? Pedo Tay? I don't... What is that? Yeah, that's my reaction initially. Thank you. Now the cast gets to experience the bullshit. What the fuck? There you go. That good for nothing but fan service, incompetent nympho woman is back. Okay, Venusaur asked Fontana stood at the bridge of the assault carrier Vi Victus. Oh, hello. Who are you and why haven't you been in the rest of the game? I like Kushana. The Venusaur A. Kushana entered the bridge, visibly impressed by the numerous upgrades to prevent... What the fuck was that noise? Visibly impressed by the numerous upgrades the proud vessel had received since its service in the Compact Revolution. You've grown, boy. Welcome back from your exile, Kushana of the Many Miracles. Okay. Your exploits against the new Empire are still sung in packed space to this day. I was there myself to witness you dispatch no less than an entire Imperial flotilla in mere moments using nothing but mere destroyers over the skies of Threala. It was truly unfortunate that one such as yourself was exiled by the madwoman Alice. Leaders of your caliber have been sorely lacking in the pack fleet thus far. Flattery will get you nowhere, Caesar? Okay. By my order, your position as the High Admiral of Crimson Fleet is hereby reinstated. You once held back Imperial fleets 1,000 strong using nothing more than dozens of scrap pirate ships. Now you will defend our lands from the coming Imperialists, not with obsolete frigates, but with the full might of Pact's industrial base. You were just a boy when Arcadius picked you off the streets of Threala. To think you would now lead what he started. It's been so many years. Alice's failure was set the moment she set out to lead Pact. She was but a broken, destitute girl when Arcadius met her. Her home destroyed, her entire life in shambles. He took her in, sheltered her, gave her a new life inside Compact, gave her family. She fell hopelessly in love with him. But her dreams were to be thwarted. To the very end, Arcadius sought peace with the new Empire. He believed Compact and the Empire would have to reach reconciliation in order He believed that the Compact and the Empire would have to reach reconciliation in order to save the... in order to end the bloodshed. While others within Compact sought a more radical approach. And in the end, it was the angry mob which won. It normally is. When we took New Eden, the pressure chamber of furious anger after centuries of brutal oppression burst, and the mobs took to the streets, set everything ablaze, raped, pillaged, tore down millennia of history. Alice was there that day when Arcadius stood before the mobs trying to protect the Emperor. He was cut down, killed by the very people he had sought to liberate. And since that day, Alice lost her mind. Oh. So that's what happened. Okay. In the end, she sought justice for Arcadius in her own twisted logic, by seeking the complete annihilation of humankind. Very well. If you were to lead Compact in a new age, free of the madness which Alice brought to our cause, then I will gladly take your fleet. Just know that if you prove unworthy of flying the Crimson Flag, then I will dispose of you myself. I expect nothing less. Damn. The Solar Alliance amasses for a full-scale invasion of Pact space. Now that the Liberation Day massacre has occurred, this war will only end in one or two ways. Either we win, or they kill all of us. What must our next move be? They assembled their fleets at Verona, while our forces are still stationed at Sarah. The Alliance has thus far won effectively every battle in the war, but now their brightest military minds have all been killed at Sarah. And the incompetent fool who somehow managed to fuck his way through every goddamn fight no longer has a capital ship. Their fury will be their undoing. They intend to strike Tethra. Tethra? That is deep inside Pact space, merely a few jumps away from New Eden itself. We have amassed all our ships at Sarah, leaving our interior undefended. The Alliance will seek a target which will deal the most damage to our will, and a heavily populated core world like Tethra would be too tantalizing a target if it were to remain completely undefended. They will perform a risky multi-stage warp from Verona to Tethra and ignore Sarah altogether. Thus far, Grey was wise enough to avoid such high-risk stratagems, but with him dead, and the Alliance voters wanting blood, send messages on our encrypted military channels. Inform all our ships to amass at Sarah for a final defensive line. The Alliance will no doubt intercept our messages and believe we intend to remain at Sarah. In the meantime, I shall take my fleet and hide in maximum low orbit behind Tether's moon. When the Alliance fleets warp in, believing we are still at Sarah, that will be the end of their offensive, as their ships will now be trapped deep inside Pact space with no safe warp point to retreat to. We will then hunt down the remaining ships of the combined fleet, not combined, of the combined fleet as they scramble out of our territory, until none remain. Very well, we shall see if your predictions come to fruition. Emil Kushana. Emil? I'm not entirely certain, but as far as I'm aware, that's normally a male name. Just a little shocked. I'm not really saying, oh, how dare they? I mean, who fucking cares? It's just a little weird not to see that as a used for a female character, seeing as, like I said, I'm very used to it being a male name. Her stratagems are the stuff of legends. The new Imperials even whispered she was a time traveler who could foresee the future. I'm just not going to go there. I'm just gonna walk my ass all the way down the screen. No, I know that Kushan has no secret powers, no lost technology getting her seemingly prophetic predictions. She is merely that good. Yeah, plenty of strategists in history have just been ungodly good at crushing their enemy. Kushan took Fontana's speakerphone and relayed a message to all hands. All hands? I am Venisar A. Kushana, newly reinstated High Admiral of the Crimson Fleet. Some of you have heard my name during the Compact Revolution. I am told that during my absence, the men and women of the Martyrs' banner shamed our cause with such cowardly tactics as bombing unarmed cities, mistreating prisoners of war, and flying with artificial beings who have never even understood the meaning of sacrifice. Know that as of now, such unbecoming conduct has no place in our fleets. I will reform the lot of you, until you became sailors worthy of that red uniform. Throughout the past years, everything I heard about the new Pact fleet brought nothing but shame and disgust to my heart. We are not the villains of the story. We are the proud men and women who fight for freedom, justice, and equality. No longer should the name Pact bring forth images of despair, violence, and brutality. The entire galaxy detests us now, and for good reason, for we have brought nothing but great suffering to the common folk of the Neutral Rim and beyond. But soon the entire galaxy shall sing songs of our heroism, of our discipline. We will turn the tide of this war and bring about a new age, where Pact shall no longer be the evil empire, but the liberators. The age of Compact, when we sought peace instead of violence, freedom instead of blind obedience to demagogues, and equality for all begins today. Kushana, out. Can I go ahead and just state how much I like how Pact is actually portrayed in this game? I really like the whole the dichotomy, there you go. The dichotomy between Pact and the Alliance in this. It's a very well-written, just political situation, you know? Very few nations could be called, actually, yeah, very few nations could be called quote-unquote evil. An empire is just an empire, a nation just a nation. They all do things that are good and bad, and in a lot of situations that can easily be overlooked, especially in video games. But this is taking the opportunity to actually try and show that there is good and bad to both sides. The Democratic Alliance government, they're not, they were shown as your greatest hope, really. And I saw that I hope I made that clear. When I think in the early videos I was talking about how I didn't entirely trust Gray, but I went with it because the way I saw it, at that point Kato really wanted revenge, I would have figured anyway. Therefore he would have gone with the ally, or the force he thought best suited his interest of gaining revenge on the people who bombed his home world and killed his sister. But, as we've also seen now, Pact, though they've done shitty things, they have good elements to them as well. I really like how it's portrayed, and I'm going to stop rambling now, I'm very sorry. The Ridge Crew stood and applauded, as I did. I didn't stand, though. It's too much trouble. My brothers and sisters, I may be your admiral, but I am merely a soldier of the Crimson Flag, just like all of you. Together we will turn the tide of the war back to our favor. Ellipses. Perhaps the old days of the compact revolution can return. When we travel to the stars to liberate ourselves from the new empire. Alice is now dead, and the fool's shields have been removed from the picture as well. The era of Pact has begun. Oh shite. Arcadius. No! Humanity. Pact. Alliance. Shields. Let everything burn. Captain. Ellipses. Oh, Jesus H. Christ. Captain. Chigara is coming for you. Oh, shit. Montana, I don't think Uganda's gonna save us now. Ooh. Shields grabbed a supply pack from the life pod and put it on his back. Sola grabbed an enormous scoped rifle from a black case. She flipped open another container and withdrew a curved battle knife which she strapped onto her side. Oh, damn. They had dropped down into Taidari with their life pod. For now, it looked like their plan had worked, and nobody had noticed their arrival. For as far as Shields could see, nothing but sand stretched on into the horizon. While living here was undoubtedly going to be a far cry from the comforts of his loft, the largely uninhabited surface of Taidaria made for the perfect hideaway for a wanted man such as himself. Are you ready? Yes. What is that fucking pose? The commander has already arranged a hideout a kilo away. Follow me. Okay. Ellipses, great. Wonderful. Loving it. Kato spoke as they crossed a seemingly endless desert. I am liking that we're getting some alone time now with Sola, considering that she is probably my second favorite of the characters. She hasn't really been in the game enough so far, and most of the time she has been in the game, she's been a Saga's bitch. Kinda pissed me off a little bit, I think I went over that before. It was difficult to believe these deserts were considered one of Taidaria's more livable areas. Ew. Other locales featured nothing more than toxic gases and scorching heat. I still can't believe Klon is alive all this time. I thought she was God. You know, if she had a piece of lost technology which just let her teleport to the Bianca moments before it got hit, she should have just told us earlier. That's the story she went with, huh? Makes sense. And on top of that, I can't believe she actually made up the medical report about Chigara not being a prototype either. Ugh, if only she hadn't been such an idiot. We could have known that Chigara was her prototype much earlier. I guess I really shouldn't have counted on a ditz like her to deliver an accurate report. No. There's a matter I wish to discuss with you, in private, without the other members of the crew. Sola? Is something the matter? Yes. I have come to suspect there is a great deal of information that our chief medical officer is hiding. What do you mean, Sola? I believe Claude was actually the one who's been relaying our movement to the prototypes. What? Sola? You need to say like that? You need to say something like this sooner. There you go. Sort of. No, the matter is far more complicated. I have had a vision where I spoke to Claude. It was like a momentary trance where all of my surroundings faded away and I floated in midair. It was as if I was suspended in deep sleep once more, yet I was still in control of my body. During this vision, I learned that our chief medical officer was, in fact, an ancient Ryavian like myself. But she could not have come from my era, for she was far more powerful than anything I could have imagined. Indeed, if my suspicions are correct, she may have attained a power far more terrifying than even the mightiest Ryavian emperors of the ancient past. You know, just actually having that stated out loud like that makes the fact that Claude has it sound all the more absolutely horrifying. The power to bend both space and time. I'm not going to go with the also bending joke I was going to go with. Such powers were beyond even the Ryavians, for if such a power had been attained, the Holy Empire would never have collapsed. Even if it had, one could easily restore the Empire by simply traveling back in time. The implications of this discovery were too terrifying for me to dare speak. Indeed, I feared if I exposed the truth of her identity, she may simply write me out of existence. You're telling me Claude is a time traveler? Cue the Doctor Who theme. No. Far more than that. If such an entity could be given a name, then the closest description of her would be... You're gonna say God, aren't you? Claude is God. And on that note, I'll end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.